How's it going, YouTube? UOttawaScotty here. Got another amp on the bench here. This is something I just bought the other day. Got a really good deal on it. I paid I think $150 for this. Not very much money at all. The guy said it worked, although I highly doubt it works after looking at it. This is a sort of an interesting amp, and I really want to get this working. Let's see what this sounds like. Here's the reverb tank here. This is a folded line reverberation device, OC Electronics. I don't know if this is a joke or not, but it says manufactured by beautiful girls in Milton, Wisconsin under controlled atmospheric conditions. Kind of interesting. The front of the amp looks like so. Kind of a handsome faceplate to this amplifier. A little weird, it doesn't have a standby switch. Tremolo foot switch, reverb foot switch. I've got a reverb and a tremolo circuit in this. Basic tone stack. This is a pull bright volume pot on high and low input. It's missing the handle, but it is a Mann guitar amp. This is a Garnet, for those of you with a keen eye. This is a Garnet amplifier. Is what they call a Garnet Stencil amp. Garnet is a Canadian guitar amplifier manufacturer, fronted by this electronics genius of sorts in Winnipeg by the name of Gargiles. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he had a company called Garnet Amplifiers, and they made a lot of different models. Here we are on the Garnet website here. They're selling a book, which I already have. This book right here. I've got that. We'll talk about this book at some point. Yeah, that book is pretty. That book is pretty interesting, actually. Vintage. Let's go to this vintage section. Bunch of pictures and stuff, and right at the bottom here, there's a section. A stencil section that says the other Garnet amps. These are amps made by Garnet but sold under any one of over 30 other brand names. So they made a lot of amps. So we click on this stencil. Here are all the other brand names, which were essentially Garnet amps, but just branded a different name. So they made amps for Sears. There's so many names here, but of course, oh, there we are, right in the middle. Mann. You click on that. Yeah, just all kind of, it's just pretty interesting. Here's a Mann right here. Not sure what model that is, and I'm not sure how they translate to the Garnet models. Favorite among stencil collectors, the Mann brand wasn't just about low-cost student amps, but included deluxe models like this dual EL34 powered head. Based upon the Garnet Pro Super Series chassis, it is shown here with a matching 1x12, 1x15 cabinet and a beautiful Mann LP recording lawsuit guitar. The Mann brand was distributed by Great West Music in Vancouver. Apparently they made guitars as well. Weren't allowed to have that headstock because that's the shape of a Gibson. Apparently there was some legal trouble with that. Sort of a little interesting Canadian amplifier history there. So I guess these were, I mean, there's all kinds of these little practice amps. We'll talk about those practice amps. Just some other funny Ram. Some funny brand names here. Raven. I had a Raven guitar at one point. Still have a Raven guitar, actually, downstairs. Should take that out. Sears, Stag, Titan, United. I mean, there's just all kinds of them. There's just some peculiar things here. Sort of a weird rogue era, I guess, of amplifier making in Canada. Some of those amps were very dangerous. I believe my first tube amplifier that I had was one of these Garnet Stencil amps, and I used to get shocked by this thing. Every time I picked up my guitar and put my hand on the strings, I would get shocked. Now we'll have a look at a couple schematics here from the Garnet book to see why that is. A lot of these designs were transformerless power supply amplifiers, which you would never get away with making something like that today. Serial number 16503. We've got a speaker jack, we've got external speaker jacks. I'm not sure if these are wired in parallel, if they're connected together, we'll figure that out. And then this sort of strange arrangement here of not how to change the ohmage for the speakers. From what I've read, a cheap guitar amp from the 70s. Although, you know, this is a tube amp, actually, curiously, that uses 6L6s. This is one of them that came out of there. Obviously had the let some air in, and that one's no good anymore for sure. Sylvania, made in the USA, that's a good tube. The other one looks okay. And then there's 5, well, there's some tubes here. I think some of them are 12AX7s. Most of Garnet's stuff was used a 6V6 power valves. Now this is different. So we're using a 6L6, so this is a bigger amp. You got 12AX7. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Rock and roll? Sense game? Attire? The pants aren't too
no, it looks
weird
good
with the jacket?
It does, it looks good, yeah. No, it actually does look really good. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna have to clean those shoes up though, eh?
Yeah, I'm gonna clean them.
Yeah. No, it looks good.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I like it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Looks good. Sweet.
And I'll be comfortable.
Right on. All right, it looks good though. Looks good.
Oh.
So what do you think? What do you think? Looks good, Mom. Looks good.
This bathing suit, or this bodysuit is only $5.
Looks good. Looks great. Fits you really nice.
This whole outfit was $30.
It looks awesome. Is that real leather?
No.
Okay.
Come on.
So go on with Mommy. Go on.
Come on, monkey. Let's go.
Sorry, go on.
Come on, carry on.
This is a weird amp. There's some weird things about this amp. You've got this piece of metal here that's just sort of riveted into the front face plate sides, and it's not really connected to the chassis other than these rivets here. And there's no schematic for this, so kind of out of luck there. We're sort of on our own here in terms of how this thing is wired and whatnot. The power plug I'm going to change right away. I know this thing doesn't work right now because I don't think this is the original power cord. If it is, that's pretty sad. It could be. Could be. These are sort of cheaper amps. It's got the chassis ground busted right off her, but if you look at the gauge of wire that goes to the external accessory AC right here, you got these big beefy wires. Power cord coming in, it's just this little piddly little thing here. I mean, that's super skinny wires for your mains AC. Like this fuse thing, the fuse holder, which is on the front, is loose, as you can see, which this resistor has come loose, and this wire is just hanging, flopping around in the wind too, and I could see where that used to be. So I think what probably happened is this fuse holder got loose, which broke a few things here. So we're going to try and reconnect this, mix this whole situation up over here. Yeah. We'll put some fresh tubes in her, because I actually do think I have some 6L6s hanging out. This one looks okay. All original tubes, I would imagine. They're all Sylvania. I doubt that this has ever been retubed. I think this should fire right up if we just change this cord and fix this up over here. We can get her to fire right up, but let's see. Let's get to work here. Okay. Got a speaker up here. No standby. Got a cab up here. We'll plug her in. Okay, here we are. New fuse holder here. Made all the necessary connections on this side. I really don't like this power cable. It's a pretty dinky little thing. Really light gauge stuff. The cord on the connector on the end here was damaged. The chassis ground was pulled off of it, so I just took this off something else and put that on there. You know, if this amp does work, I will want to put a better mains cable on it. I don't see any burned resistors or any signs of overheating here. Everything more or less looks intact. Kind of interesting, there's a little transistor here. 2N4360. I would imagine that's for working your foot switch for either your reverb or tremolo, or maybe these two foot switches use that same transistor. I wonder what this thing sounds like. We're gonna find out pretty quick here. Fresh 606 on this side. That's the old one that came out of her. I'm just assuming that's still okay. This one obviously bit the dust. Just about to fire this thing up. I've got speaker connected in. I'm using the speakers in my VT22 Ampeg here. Put these gloves on just in case I need to get a hold of something, or I will plug in a patch cable too. These jacks are not very good. Don't like these at all. So,
You don't want to electrocute yourself?
well, yeah. If I get zapped and I can't respond, then just call the ambulance.
Okay. Yeah, well, maybe you should be like humming and stuff, so I know, cause.
Just
yeah.
Thing.
Okay.
Maybe I should just wait for you to get home, eh?
Maybe. I'll be home tomorrow. Can this wait till tomorrow?
I kind of really want to do it tonight, though. Alright, well, maybe I'll just wait for you to get back tomorrow.
I would love it if you did that. That'd be great. Can you actually
I'll try.
turn it on right now?
Oh,
Stand on my yoga mat.
I'll stand. Yeah, I'll stand on the yoga mat. That's good enough.
Put your shoes on.
Oh, I've got my shoes on. I've got gloves on and everything. Oh,
He's turning his amp on.
okay, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, I just turned it on.
And
Okay, so far so good. I think she's working. I think so.
can you just like not do anything else until I get home, please? Please be careful.
Yeah. Okay, bye now.
Okay, love you, bye.
Bye. We got good lights on this tube here. This one, I don't see anything over here. Do I have this wired up wrong on this side, do you think? Thought it was right. I don't see the heaters going on in that tube there. Oh, I do. Oh, yeah. thing's singing. This thing's singing nicely. Works perfectly. Phases me out pretty hard that there's no standby switch. This thing's nasty. That's I think what we need to do now is we need to get it back in its case and hook up the reverb. I really want to. I don't even have a pick on me right now, so let's get this thing all buttoned down, get her going through a proper cabinet, and see how the reverb sounds. Cool. Awesome. Okay. So we got like a mishmash of parts going on here. Some of these pots are steel shaft, and they're actually used to be long, obviously long shaft pots. I'd say they've just been cut off with a hacksaw. Very rough cut. Nobody's even bothered to take the edges off that. Very rough cut. And the rest of these are plastic. The knobs are pretty good. They just come with a set screw here. These are Toya, made in Japan. They make good knobs. It's the same company that makes the knobs on my V5. Toya. None of them were in the right position, so I'm going to fix all that now. We've got a pull bright switch on both channels, and tremolo effect and reverb, and foot switchable. For an amp that sort of has a lot of features for the 70s, it's weird that they don't have a standby switch or have invested in an actual slide switch to change the impedance. You actually have to undo a little screw here and take a wire off to change the impedance. It's very strange. And then not to mention just kind of banging on this extra metal on a chassis that's not wide enough. You know, just got this flapping around in the wind here. Let's get it all back together and get it down in the basement. Put it through a proper speaker. Reattach the reverb tank. Of course, reverb tanks are always sort of interesting. Got this suspended apparatus here with a little makeshift pickup on either side of it. That's actually how the reverb is generated, by putting your guitar signal through this set of springs here. That's why they call it spring reverb. There's a couple other little things we got to deal with here. There's some hardware here that is not quite right. All the screws that were holding the head on, they're all stripped, so I'm not really sure. Okay, yeah, knobs are back installed, and everything is on 0. So 0, 10, 0, 10, so on and so forth. They all move nicely, and I cleaned all the pots too with the tuner control lubricant here. Push pull works good. I also some of this hardware was kind of not working very well, so I took these little, I don't know what you call these, but these little metal inserts that the hardware grabs on. I took them all off and straightened them all out so that the holes are nice. It's missing one right in the middle here, but just need getting closer. I'm going to clean this cabinet up now. It's missing a handle, or it had a handle on it, but it was like just some kind of gardening handle or something. I'm going to fix that up, and it's kind of dirty and moldy, dusty. Some of the Tolex is kind of coming off here. Glue that back down with some contact cement. Same on that side too. We'll be off to the races. Put the reverb tank back in. Yeah. This is a weird little puppy. Garnet wasn't known at the time for making expensive gear. As a matter of fact, a lot of bands that used that Garnet stuff in the 70s, they actually took a lot of the logos off because they were kind of like embarrassed about it or whatever. Actually, Garnet made good stuff. Alright, you see now I've just moved that over to the 4 ohm setting. Oh my God, that's nice. Wow. That's beautiful. So nice. Oh, geez, that's nice. Super warm. Super warm. Wow. See how this tone stack is. I love it. I love it. I love that sound. Some nice tone, man. Nice tone stack. There's mids all the way around. Yeah. Nice. Nice, okay. Right in the middle. Oh yeah. Love it. Buttery. Yeah. Treble, middle. A little reverb in there. Just drum on the sounds like a bass man. Alright. Check out that trem. Maybe like that. A little more depth. For distortion. Buzzy? Right. Oh, that's nice. That wasn't a good idea. This thing's cool, man. This is a cool amp. I think this might come in handy. I'm going to try and make this my backup amp for my cover gigs. I just noticed halfway through this, I'm kind of like repping Canada pretty hard here. I got a Garnet SD playing through an old 70s Canadian amp. Well, Marshall's not Canadian, but I've got a new guitar to show you guys too. I'm all jacked up here. I'm all jacked up. All jacked up, Mountain Dew. We'll talk about this guitar. It's going to be making a little appearance soon. Brand new Garnet. Garnet. The Session. I've always wanted to try the Session. This one has a coil tap. I've got to set this one up. I have no idea how this is going to sound, but I think this might sound really good through that. Man, that's a pretty cool amp. That's a pretty cool amp. I got some things to say about it. Got some things to say about this amp. Some observations. So, this channel here, this one here. Let's get this some more in the bit more light happening here. Can't believe we got all that power going through a tiny dinky. I gotta make some changes to this amplifier if it's going to be reliable, but especially if I'm going to play it for prolonged periods like that. I got some interesting observations about this. This channel here is like a completely, from here on is like a completely different thing than from here. This over here is just something else going on. How hot is this thing? toasty hot, toasty hot. Cook an egg off that thing. Yeah, this here is like, this here feels like a Marshall Super Lead, a quarter. This feels like a Marshall Super Lead or a Plexi. It sounds like a Plexi, but it's got like it's like it doesn't have enough power. Like the power sections of these amplifiers were notorious for deliberately having to be saggy on purpose to give you that bouncy kind of what's the sort of elasticy kind of feel to it. Yeah, it has a natural compression to it that, because of that underpowered power supply section, you know, as soon as you start pushing the amp hard, it kind of sags down. It's got that sag to it. And it doesn't like bass. It doesn't like bass either. As soon as you start turning up the bass, it just does not have the power to produce those. Actually, I was getting some just weird harmonic distortion here for a sec on the low bass. So I found out to like dial that back. Treble is like all the way. You got this pull bright thing going on here, which that's pretty cool. I like it on the pull setting. I don't know if that engages or disengages a cap in there. I'm not sure. I have to look at the circuit again. This on this side is like, this side here is like a Fender sound. Beautiful jazz sort of sounds here, beautiful cleans, and just it sounds like a it just sounds like a burning candle, you know, like a how could I describe the sound? Yeah, it's a lot like a Fender sound, but a lot more forgiving on the high end. You know, I mean, with my Super Reverb, you gotta be really careful on those old Fender amps. I mean, it could, you know, the high end could just, you know, sound like ice picks, and it can sound pretty bad. Sometimes this is kind of different. I mean, it's hard to make this amp sound bad, really. Yeah, it's just got this very sweet tone to it. It's very sweet and saggy, and really can tell that power section. I mean, the transformers in this thing, they're not big. Let's get the flashlight. It does not have a big power supply, so you get that. Come on, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. I mean, it's not a big amp. Like, look at, so you got it's a 6L6 amp, which surprised me because normally these are the lower power 6V6 or Garnet, you know, used a lot of the 6V6 stuff, but this has a pair of 6L6 and a weird setup too on either side of this output transformer. But that's the power transformer right there. It's pretty small for an amp with 5 312AX7s, 2 12AU7s, and a 6L6. You got this dinky little transformer in here, and also a pretty small output transformer too. So that's on purpose too. That's kind of like the sound that that's kind of one of like the reasons why they have this the sag kind of feel to it. But I tell you, that Plexi sounding channel is so cool. It sounds like a, you know, old Aerosmith, like 70s Aerosmith stuff. I was kind of playing a little riff there. I think it was Adam's Apple, but it wasn't the exact riff, but it was something similar. This is a cool amp. I'm pretty stoked up about this. I have to do some more experimentation with this. What I'd like to do is get this set up so that I can plug it into my speaker. I wonder if that would fit my Fender. My Fender here. Well, it will look nicely onto that. I just want a backup amp for. This is a fantastic Blues Deluxe. It's a really good amp for cover gigs. I love it. I want a backup amp just in case I blow a tube on a gig or something. So I think I'm gonna like start carrying this around. Maybe, you know, if I blow a tube, then I see if I can set up my guitar to sound good through here. A new guitar there to set up. Anyways, I'm all jacked up here. I'm pretty stoked about that head. Cheap, it's a cheap amp. It was a cheap amp. I actually got that amp for 150 bucks off Facebook Marketplace, which was a steal. I put, luckily for me, I'm UOttawaScotty, so I got, you know, basically parts lying all over the place. I'm constantly fixing things, so I had extra tubes. It needed some tubes. But anyways, I think I'll end that video. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a pretty fun video. Some old Canadian economy amps there. I wouldn't pay a whole lot of money for something like this in working condition, but definitely a cool amp. I'm gonna see if I can get more of these old Garnet Stencil amps and maybe start experimenting more with some of them. And anyways, I'm gonna call it a day here. Maybe you might hear some of these sounds on a UOttawaScotty recording, because I like that plexi kind of sound. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's loud enough. Anyways, UOttawaScotty out. I got a lot of stuff I got to do today, so I'm gonna get my day started here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll leave you off with a shot of this thing here. I think this is, not sure what year this is, but enjoy yourselves, and we'll be back with more amp videos very shortly. Bye for now.